Welcome in to the live desk on this Turkey Tuesday. We are taking a live look at the plaza right now. In just a few days, we will be lighting the plaza for that annual tradition there. I want to turn the camera around so you can see me. My name is Shanae Hancock here at the live desk inside of the KCTV5 newsroom. And as we look ahead to the holiday season and Thanksgiving this week, of course, we have to think about ways to keep ourselves safe as well as our furry animals. So with that being said, I do want to turn things over to Madhvi Varanasi. She is the owner of the brand new Dogtopia of North Overland Park. And thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk today. Like I mentioned, we are just a few days away from Thanksgiving, and I mentioned keeping your animals safe. But why is that so important this time around?
Janice, there are multiple reasons why we want to be careful around holidays. Definitely, you must be hearing about the mystery illness that is going around the town with dogs actually catching that, and it can be fatal on some of them. Uh, that's for us to be careful, and since it's still a mystery illness. Things that we want to look out on dogs for sure is that are they being lethargic than usual? Are they not having the same appetite as they did before, or have they have any cough symptoms? Do they have fever symptoms? And all this would actually help pet parents kind of keep an eye on what's going on with their furry pet and make sure that it is safe. And also, this is the right time to ensure that they're all vaccinated. I would definitely recommend that they take their dogs to the veterinarians, because at this time with holidays, it's always difficult to get their appointments in on time. So making sure that they're up to date on their canine cough medication like Bordetella, they're up to date on their rabies, they're up to date on DHPP. We definitely recommend that they do go and get their influenza vaccines on time, so that would definitely help these mystery illnesses to subside and keep their pet healthy. And if they're planning any boarding or they're planning visits outside, making sure all this is good so they can bring it to a boarding place or to their daycare safely.
And that illness you're talking about is what we've been hearing about for the past few weeks, that respiratory illness that, like you said, is mysterious. And it's not only a matter of keeping your dog safe, but as well as the other dogs if they're going to be going to daycare, especially around the holidays. Now, let's touch on, I know we still don't know a lot of details about that, but let's touch on what else we can do to keep our animals safe. Like, should we be giving them human food? Should we be considering the lights that we have, the holiday lights we have hanging around our house? Speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, we want to have treats and have party as much as we like our pets to be safe. So making sure that the food that is being brought in, we ensure that our guests don't feed our furry friends any food that they bring in. We are making sure that our containers are sealed for the furry friends, because it could definitely upset their stomachs, and you might and they might end up having much more trouble. And also making sure that they eat and get plenty of rest, because if they eat and they start jumping around because there are a lot of people, it can cause bloating in their stomachs, which is again fatal if we don't take steps right in time. So making sure that the food is kept safe, they don't eat whatever they want, the guests are made aware, and also having a place where your furry pet can go and lie down, rest, and follow their usual routine. They get enough water and enough rest is very important. And then you touched upon the lights and the candles, always making sure that your furry friend, the height at which they can wag their tails, we don't have candles at that length, because that can automatically, they might catch fire or their tails might get caught in the candle light. And ducks are known to go and get themselves strangled in these lights sometimes. So being careful that we hang them up somewhere and make sure that they're not hanging down or anywhere where the pets can get into it would be ideal.
And you know what I thought was so interesting in the information that you all sent over to us is really making sure your dog has alone time to themselves, because, we consider that to be our mental health as well, but we have to consider the dogs. I also want to touch on this. So vets do see an increase after the holiday season. Is that correct? As far as dogs coming in, emergency
Yes.
wise?
Correct. That's true. Again, one of the reasons could be, as I mentioned, that they eat and they're not getting enough rest, or they're too anxious. The anxiety is as much true in dogs as much as it is in people. So making sure that mentally they're stable, because that would help them rest well, eat well, and play as normal. So when any of these things don't go as planned, that is what causes the dogs to end up in either having those various illnesses or upset stomach, or they can end up with diarrhea. Whatever the reason is, they can end up going into an emergency with a vet. Having that safe place and making sure that they get plenty to rest and have water all the time for them to feed on, making sure they have the right amount of food is especially important at this time to avoid any kind of illness or any kind of distress that would end up you with a veteran.
So the biggest takeaway today is not only care for yourself in the coming months, but also, especially the busy months, but also make sure you are looking out for your dogs as well. Madhvi, I want to thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk. This has been very beneficial as far as getting all of this information. Is there anything else that you would like to touch on before I let you go this morning?
Yeah, and Doctopia has been around for 2020, since 2022, so it's 20 plus years of experience with which we are talking. We are very high on wellness plans for our dogs. We want to make sure that they're physically and mentally healthy. So when they come to our daycare, we are actually making sure that they get a safe, open play environment, so they're actually running around. But we also make sure that there's plenty of water. We have nap times for them in the middle of the day so they can cool down, rest, and they come back and play. So, and we have a thorough cleaning process in place which ensures that they are safe. So things that we do at daycare is equally important that we do at home, because that would ensure that the dog is safe both when they come out for a daycare or for boarding, and they are also safe when they're back home with. And then you have a happy, healthy pet with you for a long, long time.
Perfect. Well, this is Madhvi Varanasi she is the owner of Dogtopia of North Overland Park. And I want to thank you so much for joining me again here at the live desk as we take
Thank you.
a live look over Kansas City right now on this Turkey Tuesday as we look ahead to Thanksgiving as well as holidays coming up after that. Right now, we are also looking ahead to our noon newscast. So be sure to maybe stay inside today on this dreary day and look ahead to that.